Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Ronsley and I am in lovely Dubai. As you can see, I'm collecting backgrounds and today is episode number 53 of my AI love affair, and it is the other way around. I had a friend, well, he actually bought RideFlow, he bought some of my courses, and he happens to be in Dubai. His name is Leopold Ajami. He's, I feel like, a philosopher of the highest order. He's a coach. He helps a whole bunch of people speak their truth and put it out there so that people understand what they do and how they do it. But I asked him to interview me about artificial intelligence. And we get to talk about ethics, which is a really important part of artificial intelligence. There's no real framework out there right now. So we talk about the ethical implications of AI, the upside down pyramid of what I believe is the ethical pyramid. And he has these really insightful ideas on how it could be different from what my hypothesis is. We talk about AI as a tool for problem solving and creativity, and you're going to enjoy this episode. Check out the previous one. I hope you enjoy this episode. So come, let's learn. Hey, it's Ronsley. Welcome, you AI geek, to this podcast, my AI love affair. Consider this podcast your digital compass, guiding you through the labyrinth that is business growth using artificial intelligence. Running a business as a creative can sometimes be like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. But what if you had a secret tool that could align all the colors for you? That is AI. It's like a master key unlocking multiple doors. Thanks for being here. Let's learn.
What do you think of it? The ethical implications on AI.
I feel like if you are using your voice, whatever that looks like, then you're embedding authenticity into how you're using artificial intelligence. But if you're starting ideating, creating, and doing everything with artificial intelligence, that is an ethical boundary of just noise.
So you're saying the key point is that we have to be authentic and use our authentic voice. But what if I'm a terrible, murderous person and I'm authentic? I want to use my authentic voice to amplify my evil plans.
Yeah, and you can. And I feel like there is this beautiful pyramid in my mind on how ethically to use artificial intelligence. And I don't know why I didn't say this when you asked me the first time, but it came to me when you started talking again, because I've been saying this, someone else asked me as well. I feel it's an upside down pyramid, and the bottom of the pyramid where the small triangle is our human intelligence. Our human intelligence is just that small bit of the big triangle. And we can augment our intelligence with artificial intelligence, which is the middle section of the triangle. And then we can align that with divine intelligence, which is the biggest part of the triangle up the top. And if we have this alignment,
What do you mean by divine intelligence?
whatever divine intelligence means to you, whatever you feel is divine for you,
Okay.
however you want to approach divinity, whether
So
you
sacred values.
correct, however you feel one with yourself, one with the universe, whether it is through prayer, whether it is through religion, through spirituality, through being in nature, through yoga, whatever your version of divinity is. I feel that alignment forces a framework to create for us to kind of have this ethical line.
So you're saying it's a pyramid.
Yep.
We have a human intelligence
At the
here,
bottom, yeah.
and then artificial intelligence in the middle, and then divine intelligence. I think there's one more point missing, and maybe we should reconsider this pyramid. The first point, I think, which should be the bottom of the pyramid, is life. So the reason why, as human beings, we're not like animals, we use our claws and our muscles, is because we have our intelligence. So we survive and thrive using our minds, right? But the reason why we have our minds is to maintain our life and to flourish. So life is the foundation and the base of all judgment. Every action we do should go back to the point: is it life promoting or not? Will it destroy my life or not? Will it destroy other people's life or will it help them flourish? So the foundation of all values is life. Everything we do, actions, values, choices, is life. So from that we have human intelligence, and from that we have artificial intelligence. And I'm going to remove divine, and I'll tell you why. So if you have that kind of a pyramid, now the question is, how will artificial intelligence help us as human beings and all other creatures, maybe, maintain life? You see, so it's purpose driven. The reason why you want to have artificial intelligence is to maintain life. And that's why if you take that same framework and you give it to a Hitler, for example, of the world, you see that it's not going to work. He's going to use artificial intelligence to destroy life and to control human intelligence.
When I'm talking about divine and you're talking about what's intelligence, you started with life promoting. I'm talking about this. We're talking about the same thing.
Okay.
Because so I agree with you. And the reason when I think about divinity, I think about algorithms that have been in nature for ages, which is in nature. And I think about ecosystems that create no waste, as an example.
Yeah.
And for me, that's divinity, because if I wipe everything out and start all over again, those patterns will reappear. And for me, that is divinity. However you want to say it. I mean, for me, that's divinity because that is life promoting, right? That irrespective of whether we are on this planet or not, there'll be life that will exist around it.
Yeah.
And I think of divine intelligence as nature. For me,
That should be the foundation of the pyramid, because that is the baseline by which you judge your choices and action as a human being and your choices with what you do with AI,
so you would rearrange the pyramid, but then what if you're still putting the tip down the bottom?
I was skeptical with that putting divine, whether on top or on bottom, is because when you say divine, I think a lot of spiritual values and religion, which become very, again, opinionated, right? And so if you are from this kind of religion or that kind, or even no kind, right, you're going to have a different set of values. And it's your right to have these separate values, as long as you go back to the pyramid, they're life promoting. Do you see that? If they're not life promoting, then you're corrupting the whole ecosystem. You're destroying life. Life is the ultimate purpose, right?
If it's always life promoting, then tiger hunting a deer is not life promoting, but that is ecologically sound.
So it is life promoting. Hunting a deer is life promoting.
Oh, of course it is.
Right.
But you're still killing for need. So there's still death involved in this whole equation.
Yeah.
So why is one life more precious than the other in that instance?
Well, we're talking about a human life, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we go by human life, we ethically destroyed a lot of ecosystems to promote human life, and that falls
and
apart.
That's what I'm against.
Yeah, and the whole idea of only human life then creates an even bigger problem when it.
So I'm not saying only human life, but the reason why you're talking about human intelligence and artificial intelligence that are designed by human, right? So the foundation is human life. Now, at the end of the day, even if you go and kill a deer, there is two ways you can do that. You can do it in order to survive, and I think that's absolutely ethical, right? Animals are part of nature, and your role as a human being is, I think Francis Bacon said that, nature, in order to be conquered, must be commanded, something like that, which is a very profound statement. You need to respect nature, right? If you need to kill a deer to survive, that's what you have to do. But if you go and just slaughter all the deers, then you're a irresponsible human being. That's why I said when it comes to philosophy, it's the study of a human life, right? Animals don't interfere in the economic and political and ethical sphere of our lives, right? They don't. They add to it, absolutely. They add joy sometimes even pain. They don't change our ethics or influence our political systems.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
us, it's our doing.
That's a good point, that differentiation. Artificial intelligence has got all this data from the people that were in power that has captured history. And those people that captured history came to ancient civilizations who've had wisdom for centuries and millennia and told them that their ways were uncivilized and that this is the new way of doing it. I'll take you to a camp and I'll train you how to think and behave like us. And they destroyed and burned all our wisdom. And I'm talking about the Africas, I'm talking about the Indias, I'm talking about the Americas, I'm talking about the Australias. Because all those places did not have white people. And they came and they've changed everything. And that idea is something as simple as the Australian Aboriginal always believed that they belonged to the land. But now they have to own a piece of land for that land to be theirs. That is a big change in thinking. Now, if we don't go back and start recapturing this, artificial intelligence is going to learn from the colonizers. And that's a problem.
How can you recapture that?
The least we can do is interview our grandparents and our parents right now. Interview them and ask them, why do you see life like this? Because here's the thing, the older I get, I see things differently. You know this. The things that everyone was explaining to me before I didn't get until I got a little bit older. That, I think, is the benefit of valuing the previous generation.
What's in it for them that you're gifted? You have that gift, and I appreciate the honesty behind it, and I love it actually, because so many people are afraid to say, I'm skilled, right? Like, and they take the humble road.
Today morning was the first time I said it out loud to someone else, and I felt the truth in it. I didn't feel like I was faking. I didn't feel like an imposter. I genuinely felt, and I've said things like, you know, I feel like I've been given 50 gifts, 50 talents before, but I've never said that I'm gifted and I'm brilliant until this morning. What I bring to the table and what I feel I can really help is with perspective, because of the amount of different industries I've seen. And here is my struggle. I have all this information or all this knowledge, but I need to just make it that much so that people get enough confidence. And that's my struggle. My struggle is distilling what I have to say to be just enough for someone to be confident to go and implement and execute and get more confidence. So do I know how this is going to happen? No, I'm trying to figure it out all the time. I draw all the time. I have these crazy different diagrams that I'm trying to draw just to be able to explain what's in my brain. And not only to explain what's in my brain, but make it usable so that someone...
It's like you have all these gifts, but what you're giving your audience is a gift in a manual. Think about IKEA, right? For me, I'm not a handy person. When I look at the IKEA, the designer behind that thing is a genius to me, right? He's an absolute genius. Now, that genius and his team, they are helping me with a manual, step by step, on how to build that closet, for example, right?
Yes.
And it's very simple. I'm getting the tools, the screws, everything is in its place with a graph and says step 1, do this, step 2, do that, right? So I have it in a clear manual. I don't need to know the genius behind the design, the inception, all of that. I need to follow the instruction to have my own closet, right? And I think that's what you're doing in so many ways. You're putting that gift in a manual.
And I love that analogy of IKEA, because you're right. I mean, I don't need to know how the screws are made and how they fit together. And I want to give people exactly what they need so that they get the confidence to not only build the closet, but then they go on and buy a bed and they go on and buy other things, and then they can start playing. So
when I think of what I'd love to do is allow people to have their own safe dojo space where they can practice safely
Yeah.
and play
Yeah.
safely, so that they get confidence and so that they can definitely start to give their gifts to the world. I feel like as long as I'm enjoying this, that's why I'm here. Let me be useful. Let me solve some meaningful problems. And I can see people struggling with artificial intelligence. I can see people strayed probably by information that they're just seeing for the first time. And magic tricks, artificial intelligence is absolutely one big magic trick.
Yeah.
And it can wow anyone, but if it's not growing your business, you're just looking at a magic trick.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you still have the same problems like you've had before. So how about we use the magic trick to solve some of the problems that you're having in your business? That when you see people trying to use artificial intelligence, just trying to learn a new skill, they're just trying to do the best they can.
Yeah.
And if we cannot diminish that, but help them see another way, I would love that to happen. I would love people to use artificial intelligence to be more creative.
Yeah.
Because that's something we have to do, attract new audience. Once we attract that audience, we've got to convert them into paying clients somehow. And that can be done. And then once you do that, you have to deliver to these people in a way that they actually get the result that you promised them in the first place.
Hey, AI Geek. Thanks for listening. Your job doesn't stop here. I want you to lend your voice to the conversation. So you can join those conversations, discussions, new trainings, new recordings, and the rest of the AI Geeks by going to aigeeks.co/Discord. Also, share this podcast with a friend, another potential AI Geek. Until then, much love.